Hi, and welcome everybody to another edition of the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast right here on the Winner's Circle Sports Betting channel, sponsored by GamblersWorld.com and GamblersWorld.net. And I am joined today just by Mr. Jesse Schule, our third member of our usual three-man cast, is in Las Vegas conducting some business this week, and it would be difficult for him to schedule and find a location to do the videos. So we're accommodating him, and my man Jesse's going to pick up some extra work today. Mr. Jesse Schule of GamblersWorld.net and JesseSchule.com. Jesse, how are you, my friend?
Had a decent weekend, Ross. Only had one game out yesterday. I bit on the Yankees and Garrett Cole and paid the price, but today's a new day and feeling really good moving forward.
And I am sure you're looking forward to football season, even the preseason, which is upon us. And by the way, we're going to be covering 3 preseason games on Friday, the 11th. I will be taking a look at the New York Giants at the Detroit Lions, while Jesse's going to pick up Sean Slack here, and he's going to look at the Green Bay Packers and Cincinnati Bengals, as well as the Washington Commanders and the Cleveland Browns. So there you have it, folks. And if you follow us here all week long, we're going to cover all 16 NFL preseason games in week 1. We'll be doing the same for week 2. And then the third week, we're going to shy away from doing a lot of NFL preseason because a lot of times those games are the most unpredictable because teams are trying to get to the finish line of the preseason healthy. And also, it coincides with week 1 of college football. So looking forward to that, Jesse. Football on the horizon, exciting time of year.
You betcha. I'm looking forward to digging right in. I had some success in the preseason last year, and I know I had some company there at the top of the leaderboards for the preseason.
Yes, I was with you. You nosed me out in the last week last year, as you well let me know at that particular moment in time. And, we like to jab each other once in a while. Friendly competition, and which makes us all better, in my opinion. So I'm good. If I'm up there with Jesse in any category, I consider that pretty damn good myself. So in any event, yes, I've gone 18-10 the last 2 preseasons, folks, since 2010, a 57% winning percentage. So anybody, and I'm sure Jesse will agree with this, anybody who tries to tell you can't make money during the NFL preseason, A, doesn't know what they're doing, and that's okay. That's why you pay people like us or listen to people like us. And B, don't have a method to their madness, because, Jesse, I'm going to ask you this question because I know the way I approach NFL preseason handicapping is extremely different than what I do during regular season action. I like to put a lot of emphasis on quality depth, try to research as much as possible on teams' websites and their beat writers on the rotations of players they're going to use on that particular game or week, whatever you want to deem it as. And I put a major emphasis on head coaching trends during the NFL preseason. Yourself, Jesse?
Well, you said it. The head coaching trends are something that you have to look at. Certain guys take it seriously, certain guys don't. Quarterback depth, the depth at all the positions is important. But one of the things that I do is I try to be a little bit more conservative.
Yeah.
I try not to jump on too much right away, and I try to learn on the fly. For example, DTR in the Hall of Fame game. Nobody saw that coming, but that's something you can make a mental note of moving forward. I think that's really key, just to be careful to not dive in too fast, learn on the fly, and make adjustments on the fly during the preseason.
Yeah, those are the kind of things you can't predict. That's for sure. I believe the Jets had a 16-0 lead in that game, and Cleveland roared back to win 21-16, which is, you see comebacks in the NFL preseason on occasion, and that was one of those cases where it was a huge comeback. And in the Hall of Fame game, and it was, like you said, DTR, the former quarterback over at UCLA, was extremely impressive, and you have to account for that going forward. Having said all that, let's take a look at your first game, which will be the Green Bay Packers at the Cincinnati Bengals. Right now, the Packers are a 4.5-point favorite, and the total is now 39.5. So, Jesse, take it away. What do you got here?
Well, I think the reason that the Packers are a 4.5-point favorite is because of the calf injury to Joe Burrow. And that's a big concern, not only for week one of the regular season, potentially, but Trevor Siemian is supposed to be the backup. You really don't want to risk his health in the preseason now, given the injury to Burrow. So you're left with Jake Browning, who I kind of like. Jake Browning was pretty good at the University of Washington, but he hasn't really played any meaningful football. He's been a practice squad guy for a while. It's been a while since we've seen him in action in meaningful games. And then you got Reed Sinnett out of the University of San Diego. And I don't mean San Diego State. I mean the Toreros, a lower division team. So, I don't know what to expect from him, but neither one of these coaches really demonstrates the desire to win in the preseason. Both Zach Taylor for Cincinnati, 3-7, Matt LaFleur for the Packers, 3-7. The Packers, though, they need to get Jordan Love involved, get that offense sort of familiarized. Jordan Love's been sitting behind Aaron Rodgers for a while, and I would expect to see some of him. The two backups that I see on the list kind of scare me. Sean Clifford, former Penn State quarterback. I wasn't really a big Sean Clifford fan when he was at Penn State. He was a guy that was inconsistent. He had his moments, but he had both good and bad. And then Magoo from Florida International had a big showing in the USFL. Whether that translates in the NFL remains to be seen. Part of me thinks that Bengals should probably look at adding a veteran quarterback to their room, but with the lack of depth at quarterback, with the fact that neither one of these coaches takes the preseason too seriously, I think my play for this game will be on the under. I just don't think either of these teams is going to be too invested in playing starters and lighting up the scoreboard.
All right, so you like Green Bay and Cincinnati under 39.5. That game takes place, like I just said, on Friday, August the 11th, like all three of the games that we're going to be covering today. Yeah, the thing with me, I don't think Joe Burrow being out is the factor in the line move. I mean, I looked at the opening line move here. I mean, it was 2.5 and a move to 4 and 4.5 over the last couple of days. I think it was pretty clear that Joe Burrow was not going to play in this game and he probably wouldn't even if he was healthy. So again, I have to respectfully disagree on why that line move occurred on the side. I will say that this tells me that Green Bay and Matt LaFleur is going to give Jordan Love a shot here to get some game action because this is his first time around as a full-time starter in the NFL, and I'm sure he's going to want the first-team offense out there with them. Now, I don't have any definitive information when it comes to that. I'm just assuming by that line move that's the reason why. And then you also made a good point, Jesse, that Zach Taylor hasn't shown that he's willing to do a lot of risk-taking with his frontline personnel during the preseason, and his record in the preseason is indicative of such. So, all right, Jesse likes the Green Bay Packers, the Green Bay Packers and Cincinnati Bengals under the total of 39.5. And I don't disagree with them by any stretch of the imagination there. I'm going to look at the New York Giants at the Detroit Lions. Right now, the Giants are a 3-point favorite. The total 36.5. This line went from 1 to 3 yesterday. So a line movement there. Again, some further indication of what we might be seeing in terms of player rotations. The Giants, they got quality depth at both the running back and wide receiver position. And you always have to account for and look at the quality of depth teams have in that regard, because for the most part, if the starters play, it's going to be in very limited action. and it comes down to who's got the best quality depth. The Giants, I'm not saying they have better quality depth than the Lions, although you can make a strong case for that, especially at the skill positions offensively. The Giants, most likely Daniel Jones, if he plays, it'll be very limited, a series or two, if he plays at all. Backup quarterback is Tyrod Taylor. He's got plenty of starting experience in the NFL, most notably in his time in Buffalo when he led them to the playoffs for the first time in 19 years back in 2017. Tommy DeVito is the third-string quarterback. He's a New Jersey native, and he went undrafted, so he's a free agent, undrafted sign. And if you don't know who Tommy DeVito was, he had plenty of starting experience at Syracuse, and then he transferred to Illinois, where he had some success there. Now, getting into the head coaches, Brian Daboll, his second year at the job for the New York Giants. Last year in 3 preseason games, the Giants went over the total in all 3. The average total in those games was 37, and the average combined points scored was 49.7 points scored per game. Since 2019, even before Daboll, the Giants had gone 8-2 over the total, and that includes 5-0 to the over if the total was 36 or greater. So again, not only with Daboll, but prior to Daboll, the Giants franchise has shown the ability to go over the total with a lot of frequency during preseason action. Now, Dan Campbell goes into his third year at the helm for the Detroit Lions. In 6 preseason games with the Lions, Dan Campbell's teams have gone 4-2 to the over, and that includes 4-0 to the over in their last 4 when the total's been 39.5 or less. In those 4 games, the average total 34.5, the average combined score 48.3 points per game. Backup quarterbacks for the Lions: Teddy Bridgewater, Nate Sudfeld, Hendon Hooker, the prized rookie from Tennessee, and Adrian Martinez, the former Nebraska quarterback. But very odd to see this many quarterbacks on the depth chart. Teddy Bridgewater just recently got signed. Jared Goff, if he plays, would be very limited. I'd be shocked with 5 quarterbacks on the depth chart if we'll see him at all. And Detroit has quality depth at the running back position. So I think they'll be able to run the ball when you get into the second and third teamers playing. I like this game to go over the total of 36.5, Jesse. New York Giants, Detroit Lions over 36.5.
I like it, Ross. I do like it.
All right. So there you have it. So far we got Cincinnati and the Green Bay Packers under 39.5, New York Giants, Detroit Lions over 36.5. All right, Jesse, your last game, the Washington Commanders at the Cleveland Browns. And this is a unique situation, and I got a real good betting angle I could share with you folks on this because it involves a Washington Commanders team that will be playing their preseason opener against a Cleveland Browns team that's already got a game in the books as they participated in a Hall of Fame game. And as we alluded to earlier, we're a 21-16 winner over the New York Jets. It's not important what I think right now. It's important what Jesse thinks. So take it away, Jesse.
Well, I think it will be significant that the Cleveland Browns have a game under their belt. I think that it's likely we will see Deshaun Watson, maybe briefly, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a few series early in this game. I think I mentioned DTR before. He what did he do? He 82 yards and a touchdown on 8 of 11 passing in the second half against the Jets. He also ran the ball for 60-odd yards or something along those lines. He was looking pretty good, and I think they're going to want to get a closer look at him. You got Josh Dobbs, who did pretty well in the preseason last year. Kellen Mond, he was on the field when the Browns were losing last week. I'm not sure that he sees much time in this game. I'm sort of hoping that he doesn't because I like the Browns. I think the experience getting the cobwebs out last week will put them in better position to be more of a well-oiled machine this week. And Washington, Ron Rivera, he's 21-21 since 2007. They were 0-3 last year. Sam Howell got a lot of reps in the preseason, wasn't particularly good in his first start in the preseason last year. He threw for 145 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, 9 of 16 passing. I expect to see some of Jake Fromm, see what we get out of him. Jacoby Brissett is a guy that, from my point of view, I think I know who he is. I think Ron Rivera, there should be no question in his mind who Jacoby Brissett is at this point. I don't really see any reason to, there's nothing you need to find out about him at this point. So we'll see if he plays. I think there's more to learn for Rivera with Howell and Jake Fromm. So I think the advantage goes to the Cleveland Browns. I think good bet just to take the Browns to win outright.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you. I mean, again, I promised you guys to look at this NFL preseason betting angle when a team is playing in game 2 versus a team playing in a preseason opener. And anytime since 1984, any NFL preseason game involving a team playing in game 2 that's a home favorite of 5.5 or less, like the Browns are, they're coming off that win against the Jets. And also the team has to be coming off a straight up win, which they are. And they're facing a team that's playing their preseason opener 13-4-1 against the spread since 1984. And if that team is coming off a win by 8 points or less, the Browns won by 5 over the Jets last week. That improves to 8-1 straight up in ATS. So let me repeat that again and include the point differential as well. Since 1984, a game 2 home favorite of 5.5 or less, coming off a straight up win by 8 points or less, and they're playing a team like the Washington Commanders that are playing in their preseason opener. Those home favorites of 5.5 or less have gone 8-1 straight up in ATS since 1984. Not a huge sample size, but it's still a very effective one. And I could run all kinds of queries on game 2 versus game 1, and 90% of them will come up with the team playing in game 2 is being the probable winner in or cover against a team playing in the preseason opener. There's no guarantees, folks. It's just the law of probability and what over the years we've seen in this particular type of situation. So I agree. Jesse likes the Cleveland Browns minus the 3. Jesse likes the Cincinnati Bengals and Green Bay Packers under 39.5. I like the New York Giants and Detroit Lions over 36.5. All 3 of those games go on Friday, the 11th. Me and Jesse will be back tomorrow. We'll be covering 4 games tomorrow. So you'll have 4 free picks in NFL preseason actions tomorrow. All week long, folks. I'll be with Chip on Thursday. I'll be with Doug on Thursday as well. We'll be back with me and Jesse on Friday. All 16 NFL preseason week 1 action will be covered right here on the Winner's Circle Sports betting channel. So, folks, if you have not subscribed to our channel, please take a second to do so. It costs you absolutely nothing. There's no strings attached. And we'll bring you some of the best handicappers in the world right here on this channel. And also our goal, as always, not only to make free pick winners, but make you a smarter sports bettor today than you were yesterday. Jesse, tell the folks what you may have coming up this week. Also, any hot runs you'd like to share with the audience.
Well, as far as hot runs go, let's go with the NFL preseason. Last year, I was 8-2 in the preseason. I just edged out my man Ross by a game, I think. And 13-3 the last 3 years. Like I said, I like to be pretty conservative, pick my spots. So don't expect a ton of games at this first week of the preseason, but I will have at least 1 or 2. And it's football season's right around the corner. It's time to jump on board with that full season subscription. You come see me at jesseschule.com. You'll be glad that you did.
You could also find Jesse over at gamblersworld.net, where we have 10 of the finest handicappers in the country, including us too. Also, my NFL preseason, if you're one of those people who, what have you done for me lately kind of people, and that seems where the nature of the industry has gone over the years. Well, I've gone 18-10 in NFL preseason action over the last 2 years. Also back to, again, like I alluded to earlier, since 2010, 57% winning in the NFL preseason. I'm on a nice roll in Major League Baseball right now, folks. 6-1 over my last 3 days. I look to finish strong, especially have a big month of August, because I dial the volume back in September for numerous reasons that I could write a War and Peace novel on, and I'm not going to bore you with that. So also, folks, you'll see a like button right underneath the video. Just hit the like button, or as Jesse says, smash that like button, right, Jesse?
Smash it.
All right. And that's just small token of your appreciation for the work that we put in on this channel to bring you quality shows on a daily basis. And again, folks, if you have not subscribed to our channel, take a second to do so. If you're watching on your PC, you'll see a WC logo in the bottom right-hand corner. That stands for Winner's Circle. Click on that. A subscribe logo will come up. You just hit that. If you're watching on your mobile device, which seems like most of you are based on the statistics I'm seeing on our administrative page at YouTube, then you'll see a black subscribe button, clear as day, right underneath our video box. We'll be back tomorrow, me and Jesse. 4 big games in the NFL all week long, folks. We've already covered 5. If you missed yesterday's show, go to the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Channel YouTube page. The archive is there. From me and Doug, we covered the 2 Thursday night games, 3 Friday games that we gave you today, additional games coming up all week long, folks. NFL preseason winners right here on the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Channel. Until the next time, for Jesse Schule and Ross Benjamin, take care and God bless, folks.